Hare Krishna. Great question for you here. What is the gatana? What is the construction of the soul? What is the essential ingredients of the soul? So the soul is described to be a vibhinangsa tattva, means Krishna says mamaya vangso jiva loke in the Bhagavad Gita, that the living entity is an angsa, or separated part and parcel of the absolute truth Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when therefore the jiva is a small particle of Satchid Ananda Tattva. Krishna is Satchid Ananda, eternally present, eternal existence, eternal cognizance, eternal bliss. That's what it, basically these three things are there. Eternal Ananda, eternal bliss, eternal awareness, cognizance, and eternality itself, eternal existence. So the jiva also has eternality, consciousness, and bliss, the bliss potency. These three things are there. The bliss potency is there, consciousness energy is there, and the eternality itself, the satta. Continuing from the previous question also, another thing is that, one thing I think I forgot to mention is that Koreudai Shravanadi Sudachitta, when the heart becomes pure by the process of sadhana and by attracting the mercy, then the consciousness will be able to reflect the true identity of the soul, and then prema will manifest. So the consciousness in our that's described to be like the chitta that is now covered over at the construction of the soul. If we divert from our true existence and true relationship with the Lord and come to Maya, then that real nature of the Atma becomes covered over, and the consciousness becomes covered over by ahankar, false ego, anarthas, aparad, all these different impediments or obstacles in the heart to achieving our true self-realization. So therefore, cleaning the mirror of the heart, Chetodarpana Marjana, means cleaning the consciousness so that it can reflect the true spiritual nature. Consciousness is like described therefore to be like a mirror, and when we have false ego, then it's reflecting we're conceiving of the self to be the false self. So the construction of the soul, Satchidananda is there. We are a particle of Satchidananda Tattva. And what else? We have some affinity or nature of the Lord, which is a particle of the consciousness of the Lord that comes from the Lord originally. Like, for example, if we look at the Manomai Pranamai Kosh, who is the Manomai, ultimately the original ultimate mind, spirit, is the Supreme Lord. Same thing with the Prana, that's the Supreme Lord. But the Jiva, then it gets a minute particle of this. In Vedanta Sutra, it's described that the Pragya and the Prana. The Prana means the active force, that's the Prana, and the Pragya means the knowledge force. Those are both with the living entity. Now those potencies, originally they come from God. The active Kriya Shakti, active potency, or the strength, ability to do things, that's carried by the Prana, the life air. And the Pragya, or the wisdom force, that's also coming from the Supreme Lord. And both of those, the soul is present with both of those. The soul itself, it is Satchidananda Tattva, but it comes covered over in Maya. So part of the construction of the soul is that there is a particle of the prema, or the divine relationship with the Lord, eternal relationship with our Lord. It's present there, but it becomes covered over. That's why, again, we said Shravanadi Sudachitta Koreudai. It becomes revealed, manifested by the proper following of this sadhana. You can take the example of a seed. The soul, if you think of it like a seed, if the seed is in a wasteland or in a desert or in a stone, then it's not going to sprout, it's not going to germinate and grow, it's not going to blossom. Therefore, like we said previously, Kuryad Vasam Braje Sada, if you're in the proper environment, if you properly nourish that soul, nurture that soul in Sadhu Sangha, with Harikatha and Shravan Kirtan, then the soul will begin to sprout and grow, and then the creeper of devotion will grow to the spiritual world, you will taste the prem fall. This is the process, and this is part of the construction of the soul. So, hopefully that helped you understand a little bit of this topic. And any other questions, put them in the comments. Hare Krishna. Subscribe, share. Jai Ho.